What's going on, y'all? Machiavelli Mills TV. So, Warren Sapp is a hater, y'all. He is a pure hater, and he always been this way. Always been a grouchy dude, willing to just throw everybody under the bus and talk about how they this and they that, how they ain't really that good. Even before he was in the media, he was doing that. You know what I'm saying? But when he got in the media, he definitely took it to another notch, right? And so where am I going with this? First of all, we knew Warren Sapp just recently said that Cam Newton was a glorified running back, right? And yes, Cam was not an elite player for all of his career. He was really elite for that one season when he was MVP. But he consistently threw for, on average, 3,300 yards a season. And I can't call a dude that does that a glorified running back. You know what I mean? Because I said, if Cam was a glorified running back, what was Michael Vick? And we know Warren Sapp will give Michael Vick the ultimate respect, as a lot of people do. And he will never call Mike Vick a glorified running back when, for the majority of Mike's career, he was throwing for an average 2,400 yards, 2,500 yards. Mike was never throwing, he only threw for over 3,000 yards twice in his entire career, right? But let's fast forward. Keyshawn Johnson was on All the Smoke. And he spoke about Warren Sapp, and he like, what's your problem with Warren? And he was like, I don't know. I ain't really got no problem with dude. Like, he brought up Warren Sapp because he said Sapp always been a hater. Like, Sapp was trashing him for the longest of time, and I remember this. I remember when Warren Sapp was on TV on, I forgot what network, he was doing some type of stuff with the NFL, and he called Warren Sapp a bitch. Called him a B-I-T-C-H. Right? That's the most disrespectful stuff you could ever call a man. I don't care what nobody play. You know, in Florida, they be joking and calling each other that. I'm not, bro. I'm from Chicago. You're not calling me that, dog. Because now you disrespecting me, and we get the hell up out of here. Now, Sapp is from Florida, but he didn't mean it like in a joking way. He meant it like for real. Called him the B word. Like, bro, who you talking to? You know. And then later on in life, he came out and said, well, yeah, I only said that because like a producer of the show told him to say that. So now you doing what men tell you to do? If a man tell you to disrespect another black man, you gonna follow suit? I can't respect that. I don't care how much you trying to get into the media world. You Hall of Famer Warren Sapp, you got a gold jacket. Why you listen to some white dude telling you to call another black man a B word? That's clowned out to me, right? But he was berating Keyshawn Johnson. He was mad that, you know, Keyshawn was basically telling him, hey, at the Pro Bowl, hey, you know, yo, you get me in Tampa Bay, I can get y'all them points to win a Super Bowl or whatever, to make a Super Bowl run. Warren Sapp lobbies for Keyshawn to come. And Keyshawn, I mean, Warren Sapp didn't have to beg them. Keyshawn was never like this super ultra elite, but he was a good receiver. You know what I mean? So anyway, he becomes a Tampa Bay Buccaneer. I'm talking about Keyshawn Johnson. And Keyshawn doesn't come to the voluntary workouts with the team. He doesn't come to those, and Sapp gets pissed off because he feel like, hey, we with the team. Why you ain't coming down here with us? Why you not, you know, doing stuff with the team? Why you not with the team? And ever since then, he's held a gripe against Keyshawn, right? But Sapp always been a hater. I remember when Michael Strahan was getting ready to go into the Hall of Fame, and here come Warren Sapp talking about how Michael Strahan got a mythical sack record. Like it's a myth that Michael Strahan got these sacks. Come on, bro. Why are you trashing this black man in a moment when he about to have, you know, he's getting respect and he's getting his ultimate glory? That's clowned out. Michael Strahan ain't never did nothing to you, ain't never said nothing to you, but you reaching to call his sack record mythical? Why are you mad or threatened about Michael Strahan? That's clowned out to me. Then later on, he trashes The Rock, right? His former teammate at the University of Miami. He want to let the world know The Rock was never that good of a player. Rock was never, ever starting. And he did it with animus. You can tell Sapp, you know, when he's trying to say something to try to cut somebody deep, telling the world how, oh, The Rock don't hang with the friends he used to hang with. Ask him about his old buddies. He don't hang with them no more. And then, you know, saying stuff like that. And The Rock never was no starting player. He never was, you know, he never was in a position to ever, I never had, his spot was never mine. He never had a spot for me to take because he never had that spot. And, you know, just went out of his way to just trash The Rock all the way around. And then, again, bringing up how he don't hang with his old friends no more for no reason. The Rock ain't said nothing about Warren Sapp at all. ain't trash Warren Sapp. Warren just wanted to come out there and say that on was it the Rich Eisen show or was it Dan Patrick? One of those shows, might have been Dan Patrick's show. Rich Eisen, Dan Patrick, one of them. And he came out and said these crazy things, these things about, you know, The Rock, right? Then I remember, like I told you, he don't like Cam. He didn't like that Cam didn't jump on the ball when the fumble happened. And he said that Cam getting in the interviews crying and pouting like a bitch. He called Cam a bitch as well. See, you got a thing with calling men these words. And when you call a man that, you got to be prepared for war sometimes. Now, granted, not prepared for war. Cam and them adults, they ain't going to try to take it that level, but it's disrespectful. You being ultra disrespectful, and it's not okay, and it's not cool. But Sapp always throwing hate around on other dudes, calling them out there and calling them bitchs and all of this and all of that, and even when Odell, before Odell's injuries, he went out of the way, Odell ain't great, he ain't great, he this and that, he only good because of the catch, even though at the time Odell was on the trajectory where he was doing great things. Now after the injuries, it tailed off, it died down for sure, but at the time when he did that Vlad interview, well, I think Odell had an injury before that, though, he did. But before then, Odell, the first 3-4 years of Odell's career, he was on a Hall of Fame trajectory. Without question, he was. And Warren Sapp go out his way to try to say Odell ain't great. He ain't great. He ain't great. He ain't, you know, like, no, bro. The boy was the truth. For the first 4 years of his career, he was putting up great numbers. And then, again, injuries happened, and it derailed him. But it's like he always going out his way to hate on somebody. Always, all the time. Keyshawn even mentioned how when they saw each other at the Colorado game, Sapp took a picture with him. Then the next day, he goes out of his, he trashes he trashes Keyshawn Johnson on Jason Whitlock's show. Warren Sapp trashes Keyshawn Johnson on Jason Whitlock's show the day after they took a picture at the Colorado game. Warren Sapp always been a hater, always been a dude that don't like nobody, always getting into it with people. And again, calling dudes these B words, boy, I promise you he couldn't have been saying that about me. Boy, I talk about him when you grown as hell with that mohawk in your head. You 50, almost 50 years old at the time. He was like in his late 40s with a mohawk in your head, looking crazy as hell. You out here paying for sex, paying for vagina. And what A-Ball told us on Show Enough with Tila, real dogs don't pay for cat. Okay, and he out here being an NFL player. Use your clout and your cachet to get it. He paying for sex, paying for prostitutes. You know, like, what are you doing? You know, even if they wasn't prostitutes, you paying these girls for sex. You out here, and it look like, sometimes it be looking like he be on that booger sugar. You know what I mean? And so I said, Cam and them better than me. I had to cut dude deep. You know, but they mature, they're adults. And, you know, they want to remain adults and don't want to engage in back and forth with Warren Sapp, because sometimes what they say, sometimes people can't tell who a fool is when two people are arguing for the distance. I don't know how the idiom, how the saying goes, right? Idiom. I don't know how the saying goes. Like a wise man can't. What do you say when a wise man and a fool is arguing? The person, something like person from a distance can't tell who the fool is, or something like that. But yeah, I guess they feel like they don't want to engage in back and forth with Warren. But Warren always been a hater, hating on everybody, everything anybody does. He throwing salt on it, trashing dudes left and right. Like, it's like he just can't wait to do that. And it's something about it. Like, even calling, you know, even if you don't like Justin Fields, that's one thing, right? I remember Brian Urlacher was on Jason Whitlock's show, and he was basically saying, they were saying, who are some tough quarterbacks? And he named Justin Fields, and Justin is really tough, always been tough. For as crazy as the O-line has been for him for a majority of his Chicago Bears tenure, especially in the earlier parts of his tenure. And Warren Sapp said something like, "You ain't got to be tough. You got to be tough to, what do you say? You got to be tough to be dumb," or something like that. Basically saying it like he ain't tough, he just dumb. Like insinuating that Justin Fields was dumb, playing into a stereotype like, oh, okay. Because I'm sure he looks at Justin Fields as an incompetent quarterback or a running back more than a quarterback, but you're calling him dumb or insinuating that he's dumb, which plays into a narrative against black quarterbacks. You know, he get up there to Jason Whitlock and he starts saying some stuff that really aligns with certain stuff that Whitlock would say. Or, you know what I mean? These crazy conservative views that are like, it gets wild at times. Really, really wild. You don't like Cam because the way Cam dresses. You don't like that he didn't jump on the football. Again, you talking about how a man dress. You got a damn mohawk and you like 48 years old. He 51 now. But he was like 48 years old walking around with a mohawk in his head. That boy, slap me if I'm 48 with a mohawk in my head like that. That's just crazy to me. But anyway, they always talk about how Cam dressed and everything. But I just never liked how he tried to talk about Justin Fields in that way, as if like calling him dumb. That's come on, bro. You get no respect from me when you do that. That's terrible. That's trash. That's trash to me. Super, super duper trash. But that's the type of stuff that Warren Sapp does. And again, Warren Sapp, like I said, playing into the stereotype of the black quarterback being dumb. Oh, you ain't gotta be brave to be dumb. Like what? That is all like, but it's really not surprising, because any black man, if you are under 60 years old chewing tobacco, I'm looking at you funny style. What the fuck? Why are you chewing tobacco? Why are you doing that? Especially if you ain't in baseball. But even if you're in baseball, them black players don't really be doing it like that. But I did see, I forgot who it was, a football player chewing tobacco in an interview, spitting in the cup. Who was that? I don't remember. I was looking at him crazy. So like, what the hell are you doing? Well, any black man younger than 60 years old chewing tobacco, because Sapp 51, what are you doing? Why are you chewing tobacco? Why? That stuff your granddaddy, your great-great-granddaddy did. Young black folks chewing tobacco. What, that black men don't really be doing that no more. What you doing? Why are you chewing? That is not a black man's hobby. A 51 is not old, right? It's not old, but that ain't no, unless you're a senior citizen, that's not a middle-aged black man's activity to me, chewing tobacco. You know, maybe they do it in the South. I don't know. I'm from the Midwest. I'm from Chicago. So, but I don't know. But it's just like, what? That let me know something about you anyway. You chewing tobacco and you middle-aged. Like, what's going on? But, yeah, Sapp is a hater, man. And always been that. And now I feel like Keyshawn is telling it what the world can see. So, you know, I don't know, man. It's just, it's quite funny to me. Because everybody looking at Sapp, because they don't like Cam and they don't like what Cam has been saying about Brock Purdy. But Warren Sapp is a hater of the highest degree. And he's always been that. It's not taken away from his football career. He was an outstanding football player and an extraordinary talent. One of the best to ever play his position. And he was better than Keyshawn Johnson and a lot of the dudes that he's getting into it with at their respective craft. He was the best out of all those individuals he's gotten into it with. But that don't take away from the fact that you're a natural born hater, dog. For real. And at times, sometimes the hate is disgusting. Without question. Machiavelli Mills TV, I'm out. Peace.